Well, good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning. I'm here today with Minister Derek Daly, Minister of Natural Resources, and also with Mr. Ken Marshall, who is the Chair of the Board of Directors for Nalcor Energy, to provide the people of the province with an update regarding their energy company, Nalcor Energy. As I've traveled around our great province, talking to friends and neighbours and visitors throughout communities, I hear quite often how blessed we are as a people to live in the province where we live, in the great province that we live. This summer I had the opportunity to honor and the honor to host the Council of the Federation of Premiers here in Newfoundland and Labrador, and I can tell you that during their visit it was very clear that they're envious of our natural resources and how we are managing those resources for the benefit of our province. Our government is firmly focused on ensuring that we as Newfoundlanders and Labradorians are the prime beneficiaries of those resources. Through Nalcor Energy, the People's Energy Company, which is your energy company, we are charting a course towards self-reliance, prosperity, and sustainable green energy for the 21st century and beyond. Now, over the past 10 years, Nalcor Energy has grown. It's grown tremendously and is becoming a global energy player. Today, it has 6 lines of business, including oil and gas, Muskrat Falls, Newfoundland and Labrador Hydro, Churchill Falls Labrador Corporation, Bull Arm Fabrication, and its newest company, Energy Marketing, with a total of 13 companies. It's grown from managing about $2 billion in assets to currently about $11 billion in assets, and that number is continuing to grow and expected to grow to $14 billion in the next few years. The interconnection to the North American grid will fundamentally transform the electricity system in this province as we prepare to hook up the island portion of our province to the North American grid for the first time in our history. This level of growth and fundamental shift requires effective oversight. The people of our province can be confident that we're ensuring that a strong and effective corporation governance model is in place, and today we are taking steps so that the board evolves with the needs of this growing company. We, along with Nalcor's current board of directors, recognize that the time is right to supplement the existing board expertise with additional qualifications and resources to reflect the evolution of the company. We're committed to ensuring the company is guided by qualified, experienced, and deeply committed directors who ensure the people's needs are being served. To prepare for this next phase of growth with Nalcor's Board of Directors, an in-depth review and analysis of existing corporate governance practices and benchmarking against best practices in other leading Crown corporations and publicly traded corporations has been completed. An external consultant also identified the full suite of skills and expertise needed at the board level to meet the current needs of the business. In keeping with best practice, we are increasing the number of directors appointed to Nalcor Energy Board of Directors. We're also appointing additional independent directors to the Board of Newfoundland and Labrador Hydro to provide the board with an additional level of autonomy and clearer focus on customers' needs. There will be a crossover of appointments to both boards to ensure the strategic direction of governments are aligned throughout all levels of the company. And today we're committed to initiating a process to identify the individuals with the expertise required for appointment to the board. These people will be identified by an external governance consultant utilizing best practice, matrix approach outlined by the consultant for accessing qualifications and making recommendations to government and the board of directors. With the steps that we are announcing today, the people of the province can have confidence that a strong corporate governance model will exist to provide oversight to Nalcor and ensure the maximum benefits to their resources. And they can be assured that the governance model is in keeping with the best practice in other jurisdictions and other energy companies, and that their interest will be best served. I'm going to pass it over now to Mr. Marshall for his remarks.
I'm very pleased to be here today to speak about something which I have a fair degree of passion for and history with. I've been on the board now of, well, first of all, Newfoundland and Labrador Hydro, and then we became Nalcor a few years later with subsidiary organizations, so it's over a decade. I call it a decade of learning. I've served under 5 chairs before I became chair and 4 premiers, and incredible growth in the organization. I've actually learned something very important, that while I used to be upset about rainy days, now I'm happy because the reservoirs are filling up. Today I have the pleasure of serving with other members of the board. Tom Clift is here today, and Ed Martin and many others on our subsidiary boards are here with us as well today. Leo Abbas and Jerry Shortle as well. Over the past 10 years, we've guided the company through a period of investment and growth. Nalcor has grown tremendously and is going through a fundamental change, as the Premier has mentioned. As he said, we've gone from 6 companies to 15 or 13 companies, and we're managing an asset base over $11 billion today, which was $2 billion when we started less than a decade ago, and it's going to soon grow to $14 billion as we come out of the gate with a number of projects which are already on the books. The principal functions of our board include many things, and among them, developing Nalcor's approach to corporate governance. And in that, I want to thank Mr. Tom Clift, who's led our governance committee and basically brought Nalcor through an extremely complex exercise for many, many years as the board has evolved its governance approach. We review and approve the business, financial, strategic, and other plans to enable Nalcor to execute its strategy. Review and approve the audit of financial statements, management discussion and analysis, and also through the work of Mr. Jerry Shortle, who is the finest audit head I've ever seen in my career, and he oversees and has brought the organization to full-fledged private disclosure on a quarterly basis. We oversee the integrity of the internal control systems, and we ensure that Nalcor has processes for operating within applicable laws and regulations. We ensure the company has a compensation philosophy and framework and has a process in place to measure the performance of senior executives of Nalcor. We ensure that management creates a culture of integrity and high performance throughout the organization, and we ensure that succession plans are in place for senior management. There are many elements to our business which require strong oversight and governance. Among them, as the Premier has mentioned, our large hydro developments, our oil and gas equity positions, and our base business of electricity generation and transmission, which we are all very fully aware is an important element and a critical element. One example of the step change occurring within the province related to energy is with respect to the Lower Churchill development. With Muskrat Falls coming online in the not-too-distant future, we're preparing to hook up the island of Newfoundland to the North American grid for the first time in our history. This interconnection will fundamentally transform the electricity system in the province, and indeed it will change Eastern North American electricity markets. And the company is now moving to the next phase of its development as we move closer to bringing power in from the big land and out into the rest of North America. The time is right to make the improvements required to bring corporate governance and accountability model to the next level. We've made significant progress in formalizing and improving the quality of corporate governance and public accountability over the past 7 years, and we want to continue to provide confidence to key stakeholders that a strong corporate governance model exists in the organization to provide oversight of Nalcor and its subsidiaries on behalf of the shareholder, the people of the province, and our residents. It is common practice that corporate governance needs and requirements of a company evolve over time, particularly in organizations like Nalcor that undergo significant growth and change. We understand that, we take that responsibility seriously, and we have been acting on it, and we're further acting on it here today. In 2006, with support and alignment from our shareholder, the board undertook a review of existing corporate governance practices and benchmarked itself against general best practices in other leading Crown corporations and publicly traded corporations. The focus of the review was to prepare the governance structure for the new phase in Nalcor's evolution that the company was embarking. A corporate governance committee of the board was created and worked, as I said, under the leadership of Tom Clift to implement the recommendations. The review and subsequent actions focused on 5 key areas: determining and defining the roles of the board, committees of the board, and of management, ensuring we're doing all the right things to ensure appropriate board composition, determine how the board should effectively and efficiently operate, identify the key supporting policies, procedures, and other infrastructure required to achieve success, and develop a framework to ensure the company is demonstrating public accountability. Currently, the company has 13 active legal entities, each with a separate and active board of directors, and 9 of these have been created within the last 7 years. We have 22 external directors appointed by the shareholder of the province to serve on the various Nalcor boards. The board has 4 active committees: audit, corporate governance, compensation, and safety, health, environment, community. The board is committed to its mandate. Throughout the year of 2014, the last complete year, we had over 70 board and committee meetings. We've also strengthened the company's financial accountability and public reporting, and we moved to full quarterly reporting in the last fiscal year, 2014. Today, we're here with the Premier to bring forward the next steps for the changes which lay before us. In particular, today, we seek to broaden the current experience on the board with additional members bringing further expertise and experience, and as well, the appointment of additional independent directors to the board of Newfoundland and Labrador Hydro will provide the required autonomy and focus on customers in keeping with best practice in other jurisdictions and energy companies. Thank you very much.